So, someone I know is getting rid of a bunch of VHSs, and I went over there and I grabbed the ones that I thought would be fun to see at least once and then just donate, which is what they were planning to do. And I thought I'd do a nice, just a speed round reaction of each one as I go through. I've never seen any of these except I think one fine day I saw, I don't know, probably when I was 13 or something at my cousin's house. Johnny Dangerously, I think I know I've seen part of it, which is a bad sign. It probably means it was boring. Young Frankenstein, I know it's a classic. I've never seen it. I've heard it's funny. Forever Young, I like Mel Gibson. I liked, what was it? Regarding Henry, that was also written by J.J. Abrams. Back in that early Abrams era. I've actually never seen Liar Liar. Obviously, I've heard it's funny. Serendipity. I don't like Kate Beckinsale very much, but I like John Cusack. What's that one? Made in Heaven. Never even heard of it. Never heard of any of the cast, but it sounded fun. Hope Floats. I like Harry Connick Jr. I like Sandra Bullock. I ended up with a lot of chick flicks in this movie, but whatever. This one, Lover Come Back. I saw the movie for the first time I don't know, a few months ago, maybe a year ago. What was it called? Down with Love, with Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger, and it was supposed to be like a hark back to this kind of movie. Specifically, they mentioned Rock Hudson and Doris Day movies made in the 60s. Down with Love was made in like 2003, and I watched some bonus features explaining the lengths they went to make it feel like one of these 60s movies, and it really impressed me, so I'm interested to see what the original's like. One Fine Day, I like the cast. That one I remember being pretty funny, maybe boring, I don't know, we'll see. Runaway Bride, never seen it until a minute ago, I'll talk about that. And Uncle Buck, also never seen that. I like a lot of John Hughes movies though. So, first up, Runaway Bride. Just watched that, so I'll talk about it this is a speed round. We'll go 30 seconds to a minute. Runaway Bride. Just finished it. Watched it for the first time in my life. Says on the box, get ready to fall in love with Roberts and Gere all over again, obviously referring to Pretty Woman, the famous pairing of these two, and Julia Roberts' big breakout role, which, again, I've never seen. But I've seen this one now. Pretty good. The editing, kind of funny, almost as if Gary Marshall was trying to, whip up some kind of, I don't know, something different than they originally planned or wrote. It was a little weird in places, especially in the middle. Almost confusing to a point. Not sure where the movie was headed. It felt like near the transition between the second and third act. But great performances, funny movie, a lot of laughs. Overall, it was fine, and I'm ready to donate it. All right, just finished One Fine Day. Just like the last one, the cast is the main draw here. They're both very good, even though George Clooney is a little bit fidgety. The writing, overall, pretty clever. The only problem is the two kids, they're both single parents, the two kid characters are used to just screw everything up all the time for no reason. Oh, they're kids, they're just stupid. That's the way the movie treats them. It gets old. The title track, obviously, they meant for it to be a big deal, like a big hit. It plays twice in the movie. I can't even hum it, and I finished the movie less than 10 minutes ago. Overall, passably charming, great performances. The movie sometimes hampers itself with the other writing choices, especially with the kids. Okay, just watched Serendipity. Sorry I look so tired. I keep watching these late at night. Big fan of John Cusack. Kate Beckinsale usually is a miss for me, but in this, she uses her English accent. I think she's really English. She was much better in this than other things I've seen her in. Every side character and the little funny gags and stuff with Eugene Levy and both of their best friends, really funny stuff. Usually I hate it when it's overly zany in the side characters, but these were perfect. Kate Beckinsale's character was almost a manic pixie dream girl. Not a true one, because the male character wasn't broken and no one needed fixing, but her attitudes were a bit that way. Yeah, really funny movie from everywhere, the leads and everyone else. Easily my favorite of the three I've watched so far. I just watched Hope Floats, and I like the cast, but everything else I thought was pretty bad. I think this was definitely the worst one of the batch so far, and the only bad one. The actors were fine. The writing was bad. The editing was bad. The transitions were bad. They were trying some new things that didn't work. Lots of melodrama. Lots of lines that by themselves might sound dramatic, but in context carry no weight and almost have no meaning. And overall, pretty big disappointment. I just watched Uncle Buck for the first time. I'm mostly a fan of John Hughes. Obviously, like everyone my age, I grew up on Home Alone. This features a pre-Home Alone Macaulay Culkin, which is interesting. I'm always a big fan of John Candy. He's really funny. The case says it's a heartwarming family comedy, and I think that fits here. Movies where people screw up, like funny haha, he can't handle it, he keeps making mistakes, those aren't heartwarming. And I was afraid this was going to be one of those, isn't it funny, he's taking care of the kids and he doesn't know what he's doing. But this wasn't one of those. He's got flaws, but he was really doing what he could to take care of these kids, and I thought that was really nice. Heartwarming is a good word to describe it. I don't like those movies where people screw everything up. I think I talked about that before. Anyway, overall, I thought it was very funny. I thought it was a good movie, and I recommend it. I just watched Made in Heaven for the first time, hopefully the last time. It was one of the worst movies, probably the worst movie I've ever seen. It's right here in my hand, and I don't say things like that very often. Everything about it was wrong. It was written wrong. You're supposed to write movies about the interesting things that take place in people's lives. It's like with this one, they found all the most boring and weird parts of these people's lives. Part of it takes place in heaven, so there's a heavy surreal element, which was handled like basically to add insult to injury, where injury is the bad writing and insult is just the random surrealism that makes no sense within the context or on any level. The writing, everything was wrong. Every single thing was wrong. It was confusing. It was crappy. It was cheesy, not in a good way. It was weird, but somehow in a boring way. I hated it. Hey, I just watched Liar Liar for the first time, which is probably surprising for you to hear, since I feel like everyone my age was talking about this when it first came out, and for like 3 or 4 years after. Obviously, it was a big fan favorite for Jim Carrey fans. Jim Carrey is really funny in this. I can see why it's considered classic Jim Carrey. It is hilarious. His performance, well, he deserves every dollar he earned for it, and I think he earned a lot. Also, a great family message. It was very pro-family, which was nice. I just finished Young Frankenstein for the first time, and I gotta say, I thought it would be funnier for such a well-known comedy classic. And I know Gene Wilder's really funny. I know Mel Brooks can be really funny. Uh, it was funny. It was funny, but I expected more. And I also liked. I haven't seen this one, but I'm very familiar with the '70s comedy "What's Up, Doc," which this has at least 3 actors who are also in that movie, and that kind of was fun to see, especially the constable, the head constable in this movie was very funny with his arm. Uh, the musical number, "Putting on the Ritz," wasn't expecting that. And the funniest part about that scene was the neurologist conference, and they all have rotten vegetables to throw at the stage. Um, so yeah, intermittent laughs, not as constant as I would have expected from a Mel Brooks, Gene Wilder film. I just watched Forever Young for the first time. I was interested because I like Mel Gibson, and it was written by J.J. Abrams, and I'm not a big fan of his movies now, but I like Regarding Henry, which was like the second movie he's credited for writing. This one kind of reminded me a lot of Regarding Henry, in a way that like a single instance kind of changes a famous actor's life and blah blah blah. It was solid. I really like Regarding Henry, and I really like this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. Seeing a really young Elijah Wood was fun, and it was just a nice movie. Okay, I just finished Johnny Dangerously. This was the one that I had seen partially before. It must have been late on Netflix or something, and I must have never got back to it after I went to bed. This is what I expected Young Frankenstein to be like, with this many jokes constantly coming at you, kind of like Airplane, that kind of thing. It was really funny. I always like Michael Keaton, and this one had, a stupid little story, but mostly it was about the jokes, and they did come often. They were good. They were funny. It did keep me laughing. It's a pretty funny movie. Okay, last but not least, Lover Come Back with Rock Hudson and Doris Day. This was really, really funny. Serendipity was funny. Liar Liar and Johnny Dangerously were obviously more slapstick. This is funny. This is a funny movie. A lot of situational comedy. And I mentioned earlier I had seen the movie Down with Love, 2003, Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger, directed by Peyton Reed, who did the Ant-Man movies. And he did such a good job on that movie, making it look like this kind of movie. And they mentioned Rock Hudson, Doris Day movies, but I've never seen a Doris Day movie. It seems like they modeled it after this one in particular, and it is just the ultimate tribute to this movie, and I suppose the rest of their movies. I can't say. I haven't seen them. But if you have seen this, or if you have seen Down with Love, see the other one. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. I was dying laughing the whole time. Now, that's the last one. So, thanks for joining me. I hope this was fun. Again, it was not really a planned thing, just an opportunity came up. My brother and his wife were getting rid of hundreds of VHS tapes that they came into, and wanted me to come over and check them out, see if I wanted anything. So yeah, I grabbed those ones just to see what they were like, and now they're all going to be donated, except for Made in Heaven. I threw that one away. It was that bad.